We're really proud to present to you the new Barrett Model. So why did we look at the model to begin with? Ultimately, we're looking to engage as many audiences as possible, and we know that in the past, some terms like consciousness and transformation, while maybe a sense of homecoming for some, can be off-putting for other people, whether the language is older or overused for them, or something that maybe feel a bit too touchy-feely. But in any case, we wanted terminology that when people looked at it was more intuitive and self-explanatory. We also know in the last 23 years that there are a major number of fans of Maslow, and also there are some people in the field now who are skeptics of his work. And we did some scientific research to determine what other models are in the marketplace that represent the model or support the model. And we were really delighted to find 3 different models that not only demonstrated the rigor of the model, but reflected the model. And this is material that we will provide in a separate paper for you. But in general, it's eudaimonic theory, self-determination theory, and the psychological well-being. The other thing we know is that the issues have changed from the time the model was first put forth. We didn't have terms like climate change, digital disruption, bullying. They weren't in play 23 years ago when the model was created. The model. Going forward, the name of this now will be the Barrett Model. Why? First of all, we want to appreciate and recognize Richard for the brilliance and genius in what he created. Secondly, we're clearly aware that we have to strengthen our presence in the marketplace regarding our brand. It's much easier to remember a single name like Hewitt, Myers-Briggs, Campbell than it is the 7 levels of personal consciousness and the 7 levels of organizational consciousness. And we know that people out there now are already referring to it as the Barrett Model. And as I mentioned earlier, there are we'll call 2 audiences of consultants. One set of consultants would be the consciousness consultants, of which many of you are, and the second group we will call mainstream or commercial consultants, who aren't comfortable with some of the vernacular that we're using and who are passionate about culture and want to provide a metric to their clients. Finally, we know that it's hard for a client to remember both the 7 levels of personal consciousness and the 7 levels of organizational consciousness. So we're providing one model, not 2, to simplify the language and help them to remember it better. How does Richard feel about this? He is totally on board. And in fact, he has taken the new nomenclature that I am about to show you and is using it as the basis for his national model as well as his societal model. So let's take a look at the new model. You will see that 6 of the 7 levels have been renamed. Level 2 relationship stays the same. We wanted to find terms that would work for not only the individual or the personal, but also the collective and the organizational. Let me go into a little bit more detail about each of these levels and our thinking behind it. Level 1, viability, formerly survival. We wanted to find a term that didn't have the element of fear or death associated with it. And so instead to choose a term that addressed the foundational elements needed for a person as well as a business without the dark or shadow side behind it, where it's more about survival in that it's about keeping people healthy, safe, making money, and knowing that the organization cares. Level 2, relationships, self-explanatory, no change. Level 3, self-esteem has required explanation for years as to what it means, particularly relative to a business. In its place, we've put performance. Performance describes the actions that are taken that bring self-esteem and include words that show focus on delivering according to the high bar, such as quality, best practices, being the best, excellence. Performance represents accomplishment, competence, effectiveness, and this is the focus of many of our client organizations, so that when they see this verbiage, we think that they will, in a more immediate way, connect with what the model is trying to show and thus buy in. Level 4 transformation is a label that some consultants have been changing for years to words like transition or continuous improvement or growth. We know that this is one of those terms that a percentage of people have an allergic reaction to. And it's important to know that we will continue to call out transformation in our training materials, on the model, and on the diagrams, because Level 4 represents a system's openness to change, growth, and new ideas. The term transformation for some can come across that everything has to change in order to move forward, or it can imply that we are not good as we are now and have to become something else, where evolution is about forward movement. Level 5, like Level 3, was one of those levels and names that required explanation. It was internal cohesion. When we looked at the words that comprise Level 5, what we see are that they're reflective of people's character and their genuine selves. Really is about how authentic a person can be, whether they're at home, at work, or out with friends and family. And from an organizational perspective, companies can't hide behind the door anymore with such media sites as Glassdoor and social media apps that expose what's happening within an organization. Level 6, collaboration, formerly making a difference. Again, when we looked at the words that populated this level, we could see that it's about a higher order connection. Levels 2 and Level 6 are the people levels in this model. And looking at the words that Level 6 represent, they are words about making a difference in the lives of people, whether it's in the form of talent management, employee fulfillment, words that show connection within organizations, as well as connectivity externally, whether it's with your customers, your suppliers, the local community, or even larger. And finally, Level 7, formerly service, which was one of those terms that often begged yet again another explanation. We've chosen contribution because we want organizations to understand what is the big impact they want to make. What is the reason for their existence, aside from making money? To be conscious and aware of the contribution that they want to make, not only within their organization, but to society overall. And so having terms like creating new futures and sustainability are important in a big piece of this level. We know that for millennials and Generation Zers, that belonging to organizations that are purpose-led is important. So moving forward, as I mentioned before, one of our objectives is to strengthen the name of Barrett in the marketplace. So we're going to be providing the Barrett Model. People who take our training will be Barrett certified, and what we provide are Barrett Analytics. To get the Barrett name even more in the marketplace, we're investing a lot of time and resources in writing articles, submitting them to major business magazines. We'll be posting them on social media so that Barrett becomes a common phrase within organizations. And finally, in support of the brand name, we are going to be eliminating the phrase CTT and put BVC in its place. We hope that this presentation has helped you understand what our thinking is and that you're as excited as we are in moving forward. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to anybody at BVC for more clarity or more materials. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to supporting you.